everyone, Dandelion Princess here, and welcome back to Imp Headquarters. As ever, it's time to take a look at the newest Helluva Boss episode. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at Season 2, Episode 4, Western Energy. So, this episode was actually very interesting for me. Honestly, I'll admit that I had to watch it a couple times to truly get a good grasp of it. I definitely liked the episode from the start, but it took multiple viewings to kind of have a better appreciation for it. This episode was, of course, the long-awaited return of Striker, something fans have been itching for ever since the Harvest Moon Festival. And though I have no doubt that many fans are torn on if it lived up to the expectations or not, I honestly did thoroughly enjoy it. First off, I want to address Blitz and Stolas in this episode, because this is mainly the area that I began to appreciate more the more I watched it. Naturally, Stolas has dealt with assassins and people trying to kidnap him or kill him plenty of times. Lululand was definitely enough to prove that. So when seeing Striker and initially being captured, he wasn't too fussed. And naturally, he called on Blitz for help, thinking Blitz would save the day and everything would be hunky-dory. The minute Stolas realized this wasn't going to be the case, his tune definitely changes a bit.
Oh, shit. Am I in danger right now?
I honestly love how he's portrayed in this episode because he really holds his own against Striker and is very sassy, as Stolas is known to be. I love the back and forth he has with Striker, but deep down he is actually quite scared. I absolutely love that Stolas' torture scene was not downplayed whatsoever. Though Stolas himself played it off, acting like what Striker was doing to him wasn't hurting, and overall just putting on a very brave face. I love this because Stolas has such a good persona. For years, he's been forced into a position that he really does not want, or like in the slightest. Because of this, Stolas has become very good at masking. Regardless of what it is or who he's dealing with, he's absolutely great at putting on a persona. Also, I love that Stolas doesn't hold anything against Blitz. He's not mad or angry that Blitz didn't come for him. He honestly just accepted it and was ready to accept his death by the end. I absolutely think that it is super powerful that Stolas thought he was going to die there. And the fact that this was his final words is palpable.
Any last words, Goisha?
Blitz. Will.
That rodeo clown told you he ain't coming.
Again, it's something that I didn't fully appreciate the first time watching this episode, but hit me so much more once I was able to fully take it in. Switching over to Blitz for a minute, I know a lot of people are probably going to be disappointed that he didn't come to Stolas' aid, or that what was going on with Luna wasn't more severe. But I actually really like this direction. Yes, Luna is only going in to get shots, and technically Blitz could have canceled the appointment and gone to save Stolas, but the fact that he had to wait for this appointment for 5 years, I don't think a lot of people appreciate that all that much. If nothing else, it absolutely shows that hellhounds are such a low priority to Hell society. To me, 5 years kinda says that Blitz set this appointment up when he adopted Luna. If he canceled the appointment, no doubt he would have to wait a whole nother 5 years or more. So, though the shot itself isn't exactly super severe, and Luna isn't actually sick or anything, there is a underlined understanding that for Blitz, rescheduling wasn't an option. Blitz isn't to blame here, the hierarchy of hell is. And to be fair, they make it super clear that Blitz is pissed. And it also makes sense that Blitz isn't all that worried for Stolas. Stolas is a super powerful demon. We all know it, Blitz knows it. And honestly, the ending is super powerful to me as well. Blitz getting trampled and seeing Stolas rushed inside the hospital and realizing what happened was definitely a big moment for him, I think. Blitz has definitely put Stolas on a pedestal, not only because of his status, but because of how strong and powerful he is. So to realize Stolas can be seriously injured is a gut-punching realization. And of course he's going to feel guilty that he didn't go help save Stolas, and probably thinking the whole thing's his fault in the first place for not being able to kill Striker back in the Harvest Moon Festival. It's definitely very telling that by the end, Blitz doesn't even know what to say to Stolas. We all know Blitz isn't great at communication to begin with, and he's already having enough trouble deciphering his feelings for Stolas. So it totally makes sense that he just doesn't know how to handle this situation. And though it absolutely hurts to see Stolas this way, I can't be too hard on Blitz about it. I also loved getting to see the text messages between Blitz and Stolas, as it is super telling. It shows that Stolas really did try to reach out to Blitz about what happened at Ozzy's, and that Blitz, of course, did what he does best and deflected, which led to Stolas doing one of the things he does best, which is mask and cater to Blitz. This episode definitely shows how much these two need to actually communicate. Aside from that though, I also love that M and M are the ones who saved the day in the end, and the fact about how eager both Moxie and Millie were to take their rematch with Striker. I easily could have seen Moxie being a bit hesitant and nervous to face Striker again, but it really shows how much confidence he has grown since then. And again, we get to see how resourceful Moxie is in this episode. Seeing him fight these random dudes because they have the same hat, honestly, very underrated part of the episode to me.
Near the mine shafts, very outlaw aesthetic. You can't miss it.
And as ever, the fight scene between Eminem and Striker was straight fire. It was absolutely epic. We got to see once again how great Eminem are together as a team, but also how it can be their weakness. Their emotions for each other definitely get the best of them, and that's what leads to Striker getting the upper hand for a time. And again, this is something that is all done visually through the fight itself, which is just great visual storytelling in my opinion. Now, speaking on Striker in this episode, I will admit I was a bit surprised and disappointed that Norman Reedus did not come back to reprise his role as Striker, but it does make sense, and I can't hold it against anybody. actors get busy, and in all fairness, I did like the voice actor who took over the role, though it is very hard to top Norman Reedus. There were definitely some great line deliveries in this episode from Striker.
Striker! Oh, yeah. He's Striker.
Shut the fuck up! I'm trying to do my fucking job! You coming in here singing about me for the millionth fucking time! Leave me the hell alone, you freaks!
How does one get their own theme song?
As far as Striker's character goes, it really gave more questions than answers. We get this bit of dialogue from him.
Not every ring is some fancy-ass city with some fancy-ass mansion that only fancy-ass royals get to live in. Some of us have hard lives to live. And some of us have everything we care about taken away by fuckers like you.
I have no...
You don't get to talk over me. I don't have to listen to your bullshit. All you royals ever do is try to talk over us.
And this definitely leads me to believe that we are not done with Striker yet. It definitely seems like they're setting up his backstory. Otherwise, I doubt they would lean so hard into letting us know what Striker's line of thinking is. We even get a taste of it in the Harvest Moon Festival, so the fact that it's reiterating it here definitely leads me to believe that. As far as Stella and her brother Andre go, I did enjoy them in this episode. Their dynamic was very interesting to me for a number of reasons. So it was very interesting to kind of see Stella revert to acting like a child when around her brother. I think this has been the most true side to Stella we have seen yet. As far as Andre goes, I love how he is much more calm and analytical than Stella is. And I absolutely love that he throws shade at Stella and insults her, much like a brother would, while still helping her get what she wants. They weren't a huge part of this episode, obviously, but that definitely didn't bother me too much, as the focus was rightfully on Striker. As ever, I think the humor was great in this episode. Blitz had some really great lines, as always. And as I said, I loved the back and forth between Striker and Stolas. And it is really depicting that Stolas is getting his humor from Blitz in a lot of ways. This is something that Moxie also does in this episode, which I love because, again, it is showing the influence Blitz has on Moxie, just as it is for Stolas, but it also shows the similarities between Moxie and Stolas. They mirror each other in a lot of ways, so this just definitely leans into that. Both of them trying to catch Striker off guard by using Blitz's type of humor. Also, the choking scene with Moxie is super great in my opinion because of course it is a callback to the Harvest Moon Festival, but once again it shows Moxie's growth, where in the Harvest Moon Festival he panicked and let his fear take over, so he lost his ability of critical thinking and nearly died as a result. Here though, we see him in the exact same situation, but he keeps a much more level head and is able to figure out the best way to catch Striker off guard. Even though Luna didn't really have any lines in this episode, and her part in the episode was definitely more played up for humor, I still definitely enjoyed it. Her fear of needles and doctors in general definitely makes sense with her background, And again, it displays how hellhounds are much more animalistic than any of the other species in hell. As always, the animation for this episode was on point. There are some absolutely beautiful shots in this episode, and the colors really pop in this episode in particular. I am constantly impressed with the team at how each episode tends to look just that much better. I did like the music for this episode. I thought it was really well done and timed with the fight scene and with the chaos of Blitz and Luna. They just really set a good vibe for both scenes, so it was definitely well done to me. I think the biggest complaint people will have for this episode in general is just that there are so many things it didn't necessarily deliver on. Whether it has to do with Blitz and Stolas' relationship, Stella and her brother Andre, Luna and Blitz's relationship, but I'm really not too worried. Though there are things that could have fit into this episode that weren't there, it doesn't mean that it won't happen. Again, this show is only in its second season, so I'm really not too concerned at this point with missed opportunities or things of that nature, because there is still more than plenty of time for things to play out. All in all, I'm sure this is going to end up being a divisive episode between fans, but I definitely appreciate it for what it is. And I actually love the replay value that this episode in particular has. It was definitely more slow hitting, which isn't something I've experienced with any other episode before. It definitely took much more time for the severity of certain events to kick in, but the payoff is absolutely there. But I absolutely want to know what you guys think, so please let me know down in the comments. What did you think of Andre? What did you think of Striker's return and his new voice actor? And what was your favorite moment of the episode? Definitely leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more Helluva Boss and Has Been Hotel content. Thank you guys so much for watching and see you guys next time.